Now let us solve the questions really fast. If the length of a rectangle is increased by 25% more it has become, then by what percent should its breadth be reduced so that the area of the rectangle remains unchanged? So it has become 25% more. So reduced means less. So how much less? 20% less over. Remember, 25% and 20% is a pair, right? So if A is 25% more than B, then B is 20% less than A. So this is my answer. Now, some of you would like to solve this by the age-old orthodox obsolete method. You know that area of a rectangle. Now, it's so boring here, isn't it so? Area of a rectangle is length into breadth. Length is increased by 25%. Before that, let me mark this as A. So breadth here is A by L. Now you want that the area of the rectangle remains the same. So area of a rectangle should be 1.25 times length into x times b. I don't know by how much you have reduced this. So area A is 1.25 times length. Why 1.25 times? Because 25% more. It has been increased. Into x into A by L. If you remember this, B is equal to A by L. So x is equal to 1 by 1.25, that is 100 by 125. So 25 into 4, 25 into 5, that is 4 by 5, which is 0.8, which is 80%. So breadth has now become 80%. So reduction in breadth will be 1 minus 0.8, that is 20%. Who wants to solve it this way? If length has been increased by 25% and area remains unchanged, then breadth has to be reduced by 20%. Simple as that. All right, let's solve this fast. If the prices of petrol increases by 25%, then by what percent should the expenditure be reduced so that the total expenditure remains unaffected? 20%. This is an examination question which appeared in CSAT. Now you see, if you memorize these pairs 25% and 20%, 50% and 33.33%, you will be able to solve these questions really fast. All right, let's look at this. If the cost of milk increases from 15 rupees per liter to rupee 20 per liter, then by what percent should the consumption be reduced so that the expenditure remains the same? Now 15 to 20, how much is the increase? Increase is 5 rupees. So 5 rupees increased over 15 rupees. That is 5 by 15, which is 33.33%. So cost of milk has increased or has become more by 33.33%. So consumption should become less by how much? Well, 33.33%, you know, is 1 by 3. So 1 gets added here. You know 33.33% will be having a pair with 25%. So 1 by 4 is 25%. So if cost is increased by 33.33%, then in order to maintain the same expenditure, the consumption has to be reduced by 25%. Now look at this one. The cost of sugar reduces less from rupees 20 to rupees 15 per kg. Then by what percent should the consumption of sugar be increased more so that the expenditure remains the same? Expenditure is to remain the same. Now 20 to 15, how much is the decrease? 5 rupees. Over how much price? The previous price. Original price was 20. So this is 5 fours are 20. So it is 25% less. So hence we will increase the consumption by 33.33%. So 25% less means 33.33% more. 33.33% more means 25% less. So just simply by memorizing these pairs, as I had told you before, you would be able to solve such questions very fast. Or else, if you really wanted to work it out, then 1 by 4 is a fraction for which now you want to increase its value. So how do you increase its value? By decreasing the denominator. And how do you decrease the denominator? We subtract the numerator from the denominator. So this gives us 1 by 3, which is 33.33%. Now, one shopkeeper decreased the price of apple by 10%, due to which the volume of sales increased by 30%. Now, what will be the overall increase in the revenue? Now, see, what is the general form of expression for finding out revenue? It is nothing but price per unit into volume of units sold, isn't it so? Now see, price per unit initially was P, let us say, and volume was V, let us say. All right, now this represents the revenue. So this is what happened initially. Now, the prices of apple, they decreased by 10%. So prices now have decreased by 10%. So they have become 0.9 times of themselves. 10% less, 0.1 less than 1. And volume of sales increased by 30%. So volume of sales increased by 30%. So 30% increase, 30% more, 0.3 more than 1. So 1.3 V. All right. So now this is nothing but 0.9 into 1.3 into PV. What is this PV? PV here is R. So 13 into 9 you know is 117. So this will become 1.17 times R. PV here is R. So the revenue has increased by 17%. All right. So this is nothing but 1 plus 0.17. So this has to be 17% increase in the revenue. Now, if the numerator of a fraction is increased by 15% and its denominator is decreased by 8%, the fraction becomes 15 by 16. What was the value of the fraction initially? So let the initial fraction here be equal to P by Q, the general form of a fraction here. Now the numerator is increased by 15%, so it becomes 1.15 times itself. Denominator is decreased by 8%, so it becomes 0.92 times. And then the value becomes 15 by 16. So simple calculation we will do here, 15 by 16 into 92 by 115. Right, we are just cancelling these decimals here. So let us cancel the numerators and the denominators here. So 5 3s are 15, 5 2s are 10, so 3s are 23. 23 into 4 is 92. 4 into 4 is 16. So the original fraction P by Q has to be 3 by 4. That's it. Don't start calculating 1.15 as 115 by 100, 92 by 100. This is something you should know, that 92 is divisible by 23 and it goes by 4. In a 100 kg mixture of salt and water, the concentration of salt is 2%. What quantity of salt in kg should be mixed with the mixture so that the concentration of salt in the mixture becomes 10%? See, salt is how much? It is 2% of 100 kg mixture. So that is nothing but, it is 2 kg initially. So what quantity of salt should be mixed with the mixture? We don't know. So let it be X kg of salt. Now, so that the concentration of salt in the mixture becomes 10%. Now, currently what is the position? There is 2 kg of salt in 100 kg of salt water mixture. Now, after you add X kgs of salt to this mixture, the amount of salt in this mixture will become 2 plus X kgs, and the total amount of mixture will increase from 100 to 100 plus x kgs. In such a case, this will be equal to 10% of salt's concentration in the mixture. That's it. You formed the equation. Now solve it. So initially 2 by 100, 2 kgs out of 100 kgs, x kg of salt added to the mixture. So the total amount of salt or concentration of salt increased from 2 kgs to 2 plus x. The total amount of mixture increased from 100 to 100 plus x, such that this 2 plus x quantity of salt has become 10% of total mixture, that is 100 plus x kg. So zeros cancel, no big deal. 20 plus 10x equals 100 plus x. So 9x equals 80, or x is 80 by 9, nearly 9 kgs, but not exactly. So it is 8 by 9 kg, the value of x. That is, if you add 8 by 9 kg of salt to this mixture, then the concentration of salt will rise from 2% to 10%. So that's all that we needed to do. We just needed to find out or form this equation. Now, if a value is increased by x% and then by y% it is increased, then overall percent increase in the value will be x plus y plus xy by 100% of increase. Now let's have a look at this question which is given to us. Now here, before I take it up, this increase or decrease, whatever is given to you, just make sure that for increase you use the symbol of plus, or let us say positive, and for decrease you use a symbol of minus, that is negative value. So one shopkeeper increased the value of his goods initially by 25% and then by 20%. What will be the overall percent increase in the value of the goods? Two ways of solving this. Very first, this one, and that is x plus y plus xy by 100. That is 25 plus 20 plus 25 into 20 by 100. This goes by 5, this goes by 5. So 25 plus 20 plus 5 is going to be 50%. The other way around. Increase of 25% means 1.25 times. Increase of 20% means 1.2 times. Now, you don't have to multiply it. Don't worry. See, this is 25%. 25% is 1 by 4. 125% will be 5 by 4. So this anyhow is 5 by 4, 1.25. So this is 1.20. So 20% is 1 by 5. 120%, which is 1.2. So 1.2 times or 120% is going to be 6 by 5. So 5 and 5 cancels, becomes 2, becomes 3. So 3 by 2, that is 1.50 times. So this is how much more than 1? It is 50% more than 1. So it has to be 50% increase. So either of these two methods you can employ. Now, one shopkeeper decreased the value of his goods initially by 25% and then by 20%. So both decrease. So it should become minus x minus y plus xy by 100. Alright, because x and y here are negative values. So decreasing by 25, then decreasing by 20. And obviously minus x into minus y will give you positive xy. So plus 25 into 20 by 100 goes by 5, goes by 5. So this is minus 45 plus 5. So minus 40%. Now this minus suggests an overall decrease. Or else decrease of 25% would mean 0.75. Decrease of 20% would mean 0.8 times. 0.75 is 3 by 4. 0.8 you know is 4 by 5. So this is going to be 3 by 5, which is 0.6 times. 0.6 times here would mean 1 minus 0.6, that is 0.4, which is 40% decrease. 0.6 times would mean 40% decrease. 0.4 reduced or subtracted from 1. So anyhow, you can always go for this method for the ease in calculations, especially. Now, one shopkeeper decreased the value of his goods initially by 20%. So there is a decrease first, so minus x, and then reduces by 10%, so minus y, plus xy by 100 is what we are getting here. So this is minus 20 minus 10 plus 20 into 10 by 100, zeros cancel. So minus 20 minus 10 is minus 30 plus 2. So minus 28%. Minus indicates a decrease. So there will be an overall 28% of decrease in the value of the goods. One shopkeeper increased the value of his goods initially by 10%. So x here is 10%, it is positive because there is an increase, and then decreased by 20%, y is negative. So it shall become x minus y minus xy by 100. X here is positive, y here is negative anyhow, and because y is negative, we are getting this as minus xy. So 10% increase and then 20% decrease. So minus 10 into 20 by 100, zeros get removed. So this shall be 10 minus 20 minus 2, which is minus 12%, and this indicates a decrease. So a decrease of 12% is what we get on the value of the goods. Alright, the population of a city A in the year 2000 was 3 lakh, and it kept on increasing at the rate of 10% every year. Then what will be its population in the year 2002? See, initially it is 3 lakh in 2000, and every year it is increasing by 10%. So 3 into 1.1, this is 2000. This is what it will become in 2001. So into 1.1 times 1.10 is same as 1.1. So 10% increase will be 10% more. So 0.1 more than 1. So this is 2002. So 3 into 1.21. So it is 3.63 lakh will be the population at the end of the year 2002. Now the population of city A in the year 2000 was 3 lakh, and it kept on decreasing. See, that is a difference in this question from the previous one. At the rate of 10% every year. Then what will be its population in the year 2002? So 2000, the population is 3 lakh into 0.9, because it is decreasing by 10% in 2001, into 0.9, because it is decreasing by 10% in the year 2002. So it shall become 3 into 0.81, and that is 2.43 lakh. 3 into 8 is 24, and 3 into 1 is 3. That is what we get here. So obviously the population will keep on decreasing by 10%. By the end of 2002, it will become 2.43. Now, if the value of an item is increased by X%, due to which a person spends rupees Y to purchase Z kg less of the item, then increased value per kg of the item shall be given by the formula XY by 100Z, and initial value per kg shall be found out by using the formula XY by 100 plus X into Z. Now let us have a look at this question and understand how we can apply these formulas. Now, due to 10% increase in the value of apple, so X here is 10% as we see, if the value of an item is increased by X%. A customer could buy 5 kg less apples So Z kg less of the item. So the value of Z here shall be 5 kg. And it is also given due to which a person spends rupees Y. So spending here, which is happening is rupees 220. So the value of Y here is rupees 220. So simply put these values into the formulas that are given here. So increased value per kg is xy by 100z. This will make it very simple. That is 10 into 220 by 100 into 5. So the zeros will cancel here. So it will become 22 by 5, which is rupees 4.40. Now this is the increase in the value of apples per kg. Initial value per kg, let us see initial value per kg is to be found out using the formula xy by 100 plus x into z. So that is 10 into 220 by 100 plus 10 into z. So this is 10 into 220 by 110 into 5. So the 0 here will cancel. 11 into 20 is 220 and 5 fours are. So it was rupees 4 per kg, the initial value. So obviously 4 rupees, if you add 10% to it, it will become 4 rupees 40 paisa. That is the increased value here. And the increase here is by 10%. Now look at the next one. Now the previous question, the value was increasing by 10%. But here, if the value of an item is decreased by X%, see that is the difference here, due to which a person spends rupees Y to purchase Z kg more. Well, if the price has become less for an item, you would tend to purchase more of that item. Then decreased value per kg of the item is XY by 100Z. When you have decreased it by a certain percentage, then the decreased value is how much? Same as used in the previous case, and that is xy by 100z. So either there is an increase in price or decrease in price. The increased value or decreased value of an item can be found out using the same formula, that is xy by 100z. xy by 100z. And initial value per kg shall become xy by 100 minus x into z. See, if the value has increased, then 100 plus x, the value here is decreased, so 100 minus x. For increase, we are adding the value of x to 100. For decrease, we are reducing, so subtraction. Now due to 10% decrease, so x here is 10%. In the value of mango, a customer could buy 5 kg more, so z is 5 kg. More mangoes in rupees 225, so y here is 225. What is the decreased value per kg of mango and its initial value per kg? So now decreased value per kg is given by the formula xy by 100z. That shall be 10 into 225 by 100 into 5. So zeros cancel here. 225 goes by 5 as 5 fours are 25, 5s are 25. So this is 45 by 10, which is rupees 4.50 per kg. 4 rupees 50 paisa per kg. This is the reduced price. Well, initial value per kg shall be found out using the formula xy by 100 minus x into z. That is 10 into 225 by 100 minus x. X is how much? 10. So directly we will write 90 here into 5. So the zeros will cancel here. So once again, this is 45 and this is 9 fives are 45. So it is rupees 5 per kg initially. Obviously, so if the price of mango was rupees 5 per kg and it got reduced by 10%, 10% of 5 is 50 paisa. So the reduced price here will be 4 rupees 50 paisa. Now, in case of reduction, you could have easily done one more thing. Once you have found out that the decreased value was 4.5, initial value you can also find out by dividing this 4.5 by 0.9 because there is a decrease of 10%. All right, so that also comes out to be 5. Now, similarly, if you look at the previous slide, when we got rupees 440 per kg, here, as the increased value, then the original price can be found out, or initial value can also be found out by using 4.4 divided by 1.1 because there is a 10% increase. All right, so then also you will get the initial value as rupees 4. So maybe you may never want to use this formula, but still, if you feel comfortable, please go ahead. An examination is conducted in which 33% of total marks are required to pass. Now, one student scored 220 marks and yet failed by 11 marks. How much are the total marks? See, what are the passing marks? Well, the marks scored by the student are 220 and he has failed by 11, so he should have scored 11 marks more, then he would have passed. So passing marks here are 231. And passing marks are 33% of total marks. So 231 is 33% of total marks. So 231 is 33%. 33 by 100. Mind you, it is not 33.33%, so do not commit the mistake of taking this as 1 by 3. Of total marks, which I am taking as T. So T here is 231 into 100 by 33. This goes by 7. Total marks are 700. Now, in an examination, Ram obtained 23% marks and failed by 36 marks. In the same examination, Shyam obtained 35% marks and passed by 48 marks. What is the total number of marks for the examination? Now here, as per Ram, the passing marks will be how much? Now first of all, let the total marks be equal to T. So as per Ram, he obtained 23% marks. So he obtained 23 by 100 of T, 23% of T. And failed by 36 marks. So he should have scored 36 marks more to pass. So passing marks as per Ram shall be 23 by 100 into T plus 36. Now passing marks as per Shyam shall be, he obtained 35% marks out of the total, so 35 by 100 into T, and passed by 48 marks. So his marks are passing marks plus 48. So passing marks will be 48 marks lesser than Shyam's marks because Shyam has scored 48 marks extra, more than the passing marks. So Shyam's marks minus 48 marks would give us the passing mark. Obviously, the passing mark here is the same for both these guys. So this shall become 35T by 100 minus 23T by 100 equals 36 plus 48. So this shall become 12T by 100 equals 84. So 12 into 7 is 84. Take this 100 on the right hand side. So once again, total marks are working out to be 700. So what did we do here? As per the conditions or instructions given for Ram, we found out the passing mark, and similarly for Sham, and equated them because the passing mark for both these guys happens to be the same. They are attempting the same examination. Now, in an election between two candidates, Mr. X obtained 35% of the total votes, but lost the election by 15,000 votes. Now, how many votes were cast in favor of the winning candidate? See, total votes, when we are talking in terms of percentage, obviously are going to be 100%. Nothing is given here that some people did not vote or some votes were rejected. Nothing is given here. Now see, Mr. X got how many votes out of these? 35%. So winner must have got how many votes? Remaining 65%. Well, 100 minus 35 is 65. Now the difference between their votes in terms of percentage will be 30%. Well, winner gets 65%. Loser, Mr. X, gets 35% of the total votes. So the difference between their votes in terms of percentage is 65% minus 35%. Now this 30% is equivalent to 15,000 votes in actual. It is given that the difference between their votes is 15,000. Or let us say Mr. X lost the election by 15,000 votes, which means this 15,000 is nothing but the difference between the count of the number of votes received respectively by these two guys. Now, how many votes were casted in favor of the winning candidate? Well, 65% of the total votes. Well, 30% of total votes is 15,000. You don't have to find out total votes. You have to find out the number of votes received by the winning candidate. So if 30% of the total is 15,000, then 65% of the total will be how much? Unitary method, it will be more. So 65 by 30 into 15,000. Zeros cancel. 3 5s are 15. So 65 into 500 is what we get. And that is 5 5s are 25, 5 6s are 30, so 32,500. These were the votes which were casted in the favor of the winning candidate. Each month, Rajiv spends 25% of his salary on food, 20% on rent, 10% on phone bill. If after paying rupees 750 towards the insurance and income tax, he's left with rupees 4650, then what is his monthly salary? So let his monthly salary be equal to rupees X. Now, Rajiv has spent 25% on food, 20% of his salary on rent, and 10% on phone bill. So, all this together of X. Now, I'm taking the other figures, that is the ones which are mentioned to us in rupees on the right hand side. So if after paying rupees 750 towards insurance, so he's paid 750 towards insurance and income tax, he's left with 4650, that is his savings, so 4650. Then what is his monthly salary? So savings plus insurance and income tax, that should be out of 100% of X. His expenditures should be reduced. So that is 100% minus, how much does this work out to be? 25 plus 20 plus 10, that is 55%. So that means 45% of X. How 45%? 100% minus 55%. Out of his total salary, 55% goes on food, rent, phone bill. So what remains? 45%. 55% gone, expenditure. Remaining 45%. So 45% of X here is equal to how much? Well, the savings and insurance plus IT, which is rupees 5,400. So the value of X here shall be 5,400 into 100 by 45, because 45% is 45 by 100. Take it to the other side. It becomes 100 by 45. So 45 ones are 45, remainder is 9, 90 is 90. So 45 twos are is 90 and a 0 here. So what we get his salary as is 12,000 per month. Alright guys, so this was a detailed discussion about percentages as a chapter, as a concept, and we looked at variety of questions that have appeared or may appear in CSAT examination or examinations of similar stature. And apart from that, how we can improve upon our calculations, the concepts of percentages in profit and loss, simple interest, compound interest, partnership, other topics, and data interpretation. So we will meet again to discuss another topic. Till then, my best wishes are there with you. Stay safe and thank you so much.